Aurora Brown breaks free and finds love again. Hello friends, I am Elena. Welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Aurora Brown, the once quiet and reserved daughter of Robin Brown and adopted daughter of Cody Brown, has grown into a confident and self-aware young woman. Over the years, being a part of the Brown family's unconventional polygamous lifestyle had a deep impact on her identity, emotions, and relationships. As she reached adulthood, Aurora began to feel a growing disconnect between who she was becoming and the life that had been designed for her. Cody Brown, once the authoritative figure in Aurora's life, became more distant and erratic with time. The family had seen increasing turmoil, and Cody's relationships with many of his wives and children were deteriorating. Aurora, although not vocal publicly, experienced the strain behind closed doors. As a child, she looked up to Cody, often following his guidance. But as an adult, she started questioning his choices, behavior, and priorities. Eventually, the emotional disconnect became undeniable. Aurora realized that staying in a toxic dynamic, even if it was family, was causing more harm than healing. She started therapy, focusing on boundaries, healing from codependency, and finding her voice. As part of this emotional awakening, Aurora decided to break away from Cody, not just physically but emotionally and mentally as well. The decision wasn't abrupt. It came after years of silence, quiet observations, and internal battles. But the final moment arrived when she recognized that Cody no longer represented a figure of guidance and security in her life. She penned a heartfelt letter to him, expressing her gratitude for the role he once played, but also declaring her need for independence, respect, and emotional space. Her letter was direct yet respectful. She made it clear that this was not about hatred or rebellion, but about choosing peace and mental well-being. Cody, taken aback, responded with confusion and defensiveness. He tried to reason, manipulate, and later guilt-trip Aurora into staying within the family unit. But Aurora had made up her mind. In stepping away, Aurora found a freedom she had never experienced. No longer bound by the expectations and control of her former household, she began rediscovering herself. She pursued her education more seriously, developed new friendships, and started traveling, things she was once too anxious to do under Cody's shadow. It was during a volunteer program in Oregon that Aurora met someone who would change her life forever. His name was Eli, a soft-spoken, kind-hearted social worker who had also overcome a complex family past. Their initial connection wasn't romantic, but rooted in empathy, trust, and shared values. Eli listened to Aurora, never judged her for her background, and encouraged her growth. They started talking regularly, bonding over books, social work, and personal healing journeys. For the first time, Aurora felt truly seen, not as someone's daughter or someone's responsibility, but as an individual with her own worth. Eli didn't try to fix her or lead her, he walked beside her. Months passed, and what began as a deep friendship gradually evolved into something more. Aurora, cautious and still healing, took her time. Eli respected that. Their relationship blossomed in trust and mutual admiration. When Aurora finally opened up about her past fully, including her decision to separate from Cody, Eli simply held her hand and said, "You're brave." Being with Eli wasn't about escaping the past, it was about building a future. Aurora felt secure, not in someone's shadow, but in someone's partnership. They moved in together after a year of dating, in a modest apartment surrounded by bookshelves and plants, things Aurora had come to love in her new life. Cody, upon learning about Aurora's new relationship, reacted as expected, with criticism and accusations. He claimed Aurora was brainwashed, that she was abandoning her family, and that Eli was turning her against him. But Aurora didn't engage. She had outgrown the need to explain or justify her choices to someone who never truly saw her. Robin Brown, Aurora's biological mother, had a mixed reaction. While torn between loyalty to Cody and love for her daughter, Robin eventually chose silence. Aurora understood, but it still hurt. Yet she stayed strong, knowing that her truth did not require universal approval. As time went on, Aurora found new meaning in life. She started a blog sharing her journey, from being part of a famous polygamous family to reclaiming her identity. Her words resonated with many, especially other young adults from high-control environments. She didn't write with bitterness, but with clarity, compassion, and honesty. She shared lessons learned, including the importance of boundaries, the danger of blind obedience, and the power of self-worth. Eli supported her every step of the way. He encouraged her to speak her truth and be unapologetically authentic. Aurora's journey wasn't without challenges. There were nights she cried, memories that haunted her, and guilt she had to shed. But she was healing step by step, day by day. And through it all, Eli remained by her side, not as her savior but as her partner. In the years that followed, Aurora became a certified counselor herself, specializing in family dynamics and emotional recovery. Her story, once overshadowed by the Brown family drama, now stood on its own, resilient and inspiring. Her relationship with Eli continued to grow, rooted in honesty and shared healing. They traveled together, built a life full of simple joys, and eventually got engaged, not out of pressure or expectation but from mutual love and respect. Aurora no longer feared being misunderstood. She no longer felt the need to prove anything to anyone. She had broken free from the emotional chains of a complicated past and embraced the life she chose for herself. Aurora Brown's story became a symbol, not of rebellion but of renewal. A reminder that even in the most complicated families and public lives, there is always a path toward healing, self-discovery, and true love. Christine Brown and her husband, David Woolley, have been embracing their new life together with open arms, and their most recent adventure, an exciting cruise, has drawn attention not just for the romance it showcased, but also for the surprising guest who joined them, fellow former sister-wife Janelle Brown. Since Christine's departure from her plural marriage with Cody Brown, she has shown the world what it means to reclaim happiness, independence, and a loving relationship on her own terms. After marrying David Woolley in 2023, Christine has been more open than ever, sharing photos, updates, and joyful moments with her fans on social media. Cruise vacation, however, caught fans off guard, not because Christine was traveling but because she wasn't alone with her husband. Janelle Brown's presence on the cruise stirred up plenty of conversation. Christine and Janelle have remained close even after both left Cody. Their bond transcends the spiritual marriage they once shared with him. More than co-wives, they became confidants, emotional anchors, and best friends. Over the years, the two supported one another through parenting challenges, family tension, and Cody's growing favoritism toward Robin Brown. So, while it may seem surprising to outsiders, their decision to vacation together with Christine's new husband makes perfect sense in the context of their enduring friendship. From the start of the cruise, Christine's Instagram posts were full of light-hearted captions, joyful grins, and candid moments. David appeared comfortable and natural, smiling in selfies with both women, participating in group games, and dining at sunset. Fans appreciated seeing a man truly invested in Christine's happiness and at ease with her past. His openness to including Janelle in their plans didn't go unnoticed. Many viewers commented that David showed more respect to Christine and her relationships than Cody ever did during their plural marriage. Janelle also took to social media during the cruise, sharing her own thoughts. She posted pictures of sunsets, ocean views, and a few group shots. In a heartfelt caption, she wrote about grateful friendships, new beginnings, and healing energy. Her presence on the cruise was not about clinging to the past, but about honoring relationships that still matter to her. As the cruise continued, it became clear that the vacation was not just a trip, but a celebration of growth, resilience, and self-love. Christine and David shared their love openly, laughing on deck, dancing at themed parties, and even renewing their personal vows in private. Janelle never looked like a third wheel. Instead, she appeared empowered, glowing, and completely in her element. Trio's dynamic defied typical post-breakup stereotypes. Here was a woman supporting her best friend's new love, while also reclaiming her own joy. In interviews following the cruise, Christine reflected on how important it was to include Janelle. "We've been through so much together. Janelle's like a sister to me. I couldn't imagine taking this step in my life without celebrating with her too," Christine said. David echoed her sentiments, saying, Janelle is family to Christine, and that means she's family to me. I respect their bond. For many fans, this cruise marked a turning point in the sister wives saga. After years of tension, heartbreak, and complicated family dynamics, this trip showcased something rare: true emotional maturity, mutual respect, and joy that wasn't overshadowed by jealousy or control. Sent a strong message. Healing is possible after toxic relationships, and there's strength in sisterhood. Some online critics speculated that Christine inviting Janelle was her way of making a subtle statement against Cody and Robin's current isolation from the rest of the family. However, those close to the Browns suggest this wasn't about rivalry or revenge. It was about living freely. Christine has long stated she wants nothing but peace moving forward. Including Janelle on the cruise wasn't a power play, it was a gesture of love. Janelle, on the other hand, has been open about how difficult the transition has been for her. Leaving Cody was not an easy decision, and she spent months processing the fallout. Being on the cruise, surrounded by people who uplift her, allowed her space to breathe. Her social media comments reflected a woman finding her footing again. "This trip reminded me that I deserve happiness too," she shared in one post. Cruise also served as a soft launch for more joint appearances between Christine and Janelle in the future. There are whispers of the two planning retreats, possibly even hosting wellness events for other women who've left polygamous marriages or controlling relationships. Their experience, honesty, and compassion could be powerful tools for those trying to rebuild. As for Cody Brown, he has yet to comment publicly on the cruise. Insiders say he remains distant from both Christine and Janelle, choosing instead to focus on his life with Robin. While some speculate that he may feel hurt or betrayed by the growing public bond between Christine and Janelle, most agree that he has made his own decisions and must now live with the consequences. Meanwhile, Christine continues to inspire fans with her zest for life. Her marriage to David Woolley appears strong and affectionate. Together, they are building a life based on shared values, openness, and mutual appreciation. David has become not only a partner but a source of healing, someone who sees Christine for who she is, not what she was expected to be. Janelle, too, seems poised for her next chapter. Whether that includes another relationship or simply more solo adventures, one thing is clear: she is not looking back. Her time with Christine and David on the cruise only reinforced that life after Cody can be fulfilling, joyful, and entirely her own. In the end, the cruise wasn't just a vacation, it was a symbol of transformation. Christine Brown stepped into a new chapter of love. David Woolley embraced Christine's past and her people. And Janelle Brown stood beside them, not as an outsider but as a cherished friend and family member. For fans of Sister Wives, Cody Brown, known widely for his role in the long-running reality TV series Sister Wives, has finally broken his silence following the tragic and untimely death of his son Robert Garrison Brown. The news of Garrison's passing shocked fans, family members, and viewers of the show. For weeks, there was an outpouring of support and sorrow from the Sister Wives community. But Cody, who had maintained a low profile since the devastating event, has now made a public confession that has left fans reeling. In a recent candid and emotional interview, Cody admitted that his relationship with Garrison had been strained for years. The father of 18 confessed that he had made irreversible mistakes as a parent and acknowledged that his fractured connection with Garrison may have contributed to his son's mental health struggles. Cody stated, "I can't pretend I was the perfect father. I failed him. I failed in showing him unconditional love during the times he needed it most." His words were heavy, revealing layers of guilt and emotional turmoil that had long remained unspoken. Garrison, who was one of Cody's sons with Janelle Brown, had grown increasingly distant from his father in recent years. Tensions within the Brown family escalated during the COVID-19 pandemic, as Cody enforced strict protocols that created divisions among the children and their mothers. Garrison was vocal about his disagreements with his father's approach and felt increasingly alienated. "I thought I was doing what was best to protect the family," Cody explained. "But looking back, I see how it hurt my children, especially Garrison. He was trying to grow to become his own man, and I couldn't see that clearly through my own rigid lens." confession came not just as an apology to the public but as a cry of grief and acknowledgement. Cody revealed that one of his greatest regrets was not picking up the phone when Garrison had called him weeks before his death. He reached out and I didn't answer. I told myself I'd call back the next day. That next day never came. This raw statement sent waves through the fanbase, many of whom have followed the ups and downs of the Brown family for over a decade. The complexity of their plural family structure has often led to visible emotional divides, but this loss has forced a new level of reflection. Cody also addressed his deteriorated relationship with Janelle, Garrison's mother. Janelle was always there for our kids. She saw what I couldn't. She tried to bridge the gap between me and Garrison so many times. I ignored her pleas, thinking I was being strong or setting boundaries. But I was being stubborn. Janelle, who has since moved on and is focusing on her healing journey, has remained respectful but firm in her stance. In a separate statement, she expressed appreciation that Cody is finally recognizing the impact of his choices. Garrison deserved to feel heard, loved, and valued. I wish Cody had seen that sooner. But I do believe he is hurting now in ways only a parent can understand. Cody's confession did not end there. He acknowledged the toll his spiritual and emotional leadership has taken on all his children. I was too focused on structure, control, and how things looked from the outside. I forgot that fatherhood is about showing up emotionally, not just setting rules. He admitted that the pressures of managing multiple relationships and a large family led him to retreat into a rigid mindset, one that valued obedience over connection. I see now that I was chasing an ideal family image, and in doing that, I overlooked the pain, the rebellion, and the humanity of my kids. Garrison wasn't just angry, he was hurting. The confession was especially impactful when Cody discussed the last time he saw his son. We barely spoke. He looked at me like he didn't know who I was anymore. And maybe he didn't. Maybe I wasn't the father he needed in that moment. I can't change that now. Since Garrison's passing, the family has united in grief, putting aside many of their past differences. Tragedy has prompted deep conversations among the siblings, many of whom have also had complex relationships with Cody. Christine and Mary, Cody's former wives, have also expressed their heartbreak over the loss and their hopes for healing within the family. Christine said, "This loss is beyond what any of us can comprehend. But if anything good can come from it, I hope it's the wake-up call Cody needed." Cody has also shared that he is beginning therapy to work through his grief and to try to understand the emotional damage within his family. It's time I stop pretending to have all the answers and start listening. I owe that to Garrison's memory and to the rest of my kids. He mentioned that he is now reaching out to each of his children personally, some of whom have not spoken to him in months or even years. I don't know if they'll forgive me. I don't expect that. But I want them to know I'm still here and I'm not going to walk away again. Fans of the show have shown mixed reactions to Cody's confession. While many applaud his honesty and willingness to take accountability, others feel his words are too late. Still, the hope for reconciliation and healing lingers. The tragic death of Garrison Brown has reshaped the narrative of Sister Wives, revealing the emotional cost of broken communication and unresolved conflict in a deeply complex family. Cody's confession, painful and raw, may be a step forward, not just for him but for the entire Brown family. As Cody continues to reflect and process his grief, he ended his statement with a message to parents everywhere. Don't wait. If your child is reaching out, be there. No matter how hard the conversation, no matter how messy the history, be there. You might not get another chance. Christine Brown, one of the central figures of the popular reality series Sister Wives, has embarked on an exciting new chapter in her life, her very first book tour. Through years of living in the public eye and sharing the ups and downs of her plural family, Christine is stepping into the spotlight for her own voice, her own words, and her own story. Her memoir, already generating buzz among fans and critics alike, is more than just a recounting of her time on the show. It is a personal declaration of freedom, growth, and self-discovery. Christine's book tour kicked off to strong fanfare, with readers from across the country eagerly lining up to meet her, get their copies signed, and hear more about her post-Cody life. From the beginning, Christine has made it clear that this tour is about connection, connecting with her readers, her supporters, and anyone who has followed her journey from spiritual wife to independent woman. In interviews and appearances, Christine speaks candidly about her motivations for writing the book. "I wanted to tell my story in my own words," she has said. "For so long, I was part of a narrative that wasn't mine. This book gave me the chance to finally express who I am, what I've been through, and how I've grown." Her honesty and vulnerability are two of the many reasons her memoir has resonated with so many. At each stop on the tour, Christine takes time to thank her fans, acknowledging their support through her most difficult moments. She opens up about the emotional toll of her plural marriage, the challenges of co-parenting, and her path toward emotional healing. She doesn't shy away from the hard topics. Instead, she addresses them with a strength that many find deeply inspiring. The tour includes stops in major cities like Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Dallas, Atlanta, and New York City, along with smaller towns where she has a strong fan base. Each event includes a Q&A portion where Christine answers thoughtful, often personal questions from the audience. Topics range from how she found the courage to leave Cody Brown, to how she balanced motherhood while navigating life in a plural family. Her fans appreciate her openness, and Christine appreciates the chance to connect with them face to face. Christine has also used this platform to advocate for women's independence and emotional well-being. She speaks passionately about self-worth and the importance of knowing when to walk away from unhealthy situations. Her message isn't just for those in plural marriages, it's for anyone who has ever felt unseen, unheard, or unappreciated. While Christine's story is personal, its themes are universal: love, loss, identity, freedom. Her words speak not only to women who've been in similar situations, but also to anyone who's ever had to reclaim their life from the shadows of someone else's choices. Behind the scenes, Christine has shared glimpses of her journey through social media. Whether she's posting from a hotel room after a long day of signing books or sharing heartfelt moments with fans who've told her how her story helped them, Christine is present and engaged. She brings the same down-to-earth personality fans came to love on Sister Wives, but now with even more confidence and clarity. The success of the book tour marks a major turning point for Christine. It symbolizes not just a professional milestone but also a personal transformation. She is no longer defined by her past, no longer just one of Cody Brown's wives. She is now an author, a public speaker, and a woman who has carved her own path. Christine's children have been supportive throughout this journey. She often mentions how proud they are of her, and how her decision to leave the marriage has positively impacted their lives. She credits her children, especially her daughters, as part of the inspiration for telling her story. She wants them to see that women can be strong, independent, and brave, even after years of feeling otherwise. The book itself dives into previously unspoken truths. It explores the emotional isolation she often felt, the internal conflict of staying in a marriage for the sake of appearances, and the moment she realized she deserved more. It's not a revenge story, it's a rebirth. It's not about tearing others down but lifting herself up. Throughout the tour, Christine is asked about her current life and new marriage to David Woolley. She beams when talking about her husband, describing him as supportive, kind, and everything she hoped for in a partner. Her love life now stands in sharp contrast to the emotional neglect she experienced in the past. She says the difference is night and day, and fans are thrilled to see her happy. Beyond the tour, Christine has hinted at more projects in the works. She's discussed the possibility of starting a podcast, writing a second book, or launching her own lifestyle brand. The response from fans has been overwhelmingly positive, with many expressing their excitement for whatever she decides to pursue next. Publishers are pleased with the book's performance. Sales have exceeded expectations, and early reviews highlight Christine's honest, engaging writing style. Many readers have praised her authenticity and the way she balances vulnerability with empowerment. Even media outlets have taken notice. Several national talk shows have invited Christine to appear as a guest. She's been featured in major publications, not just as a reality TV figure but as an emerging author and advocate for women's autonomy. As the tour continues, Christine remains focused and grounded. She says the road has been long and healing is ongoing, but every city, every event, and every fan reminds her that she made the right decision. She is proud of how far she's come and excited for what lies ahead. In many ways, Christine Brown's book tour is about more than selling books. It's a celebration of self-liberation. It's a victory lap for a woman who chose to rewrite her story on her own terms. As she continues to travel from city to city, shaking hands,